Yes. Yes. Okay, let us know when you're ready.
I'm trying to get y'all full. Okay.
Oh, we got 2 cameras, okay. We done upgraded.
The quality's a lot better, have you noticed?
Is it?
Online, you go online, the quality of the
I haven't
video.
yet. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, can't beat that. Who's leaving? Do I have to leave? You sure you don't want to? No. Okay. Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order. We have 2 currently in attendance. Clerk, can you do roll? Did we do roll call for finance or no? No? Okay. Well, we're going to approve the agenda on today. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Ayes have it. Consent agenda. We currently have the approval of the consent agenda and approval of the minutes of last meeting, which is March 8th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, I'm gonna second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Also, I believe we want item 4 pulled from the consent agenda. Got it. So do I have to go back? If we have the items removed from the consent agenda?
What's item 4?
Item 4, I have no clue.
No, that's just there in
Okay.
case you want to pull something.
Oh, no, we're not pulling anything. All right, reports on the contracts. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So today I have actually the 3 contracts here. So Engage Learning, this is a contract amendment that we just want to amend through the end of this school year. So we currently have a contract with Engage Learning, or E2L for short, to provide dual language teachers coaching across all of our dual language schools. But part of our DOJ agreement requires that every teacher who has an MLL in front of them for core content, they are required to receive a certain number of hours of coaching per year from an ESL certified coach. And although we have coaches in every school, I run reports on a monthly basis and saw that we have about 2,000 hours left to be in full compliance by the end of the school year. And at some of our schools, that just will not be possible. And so we've asked Engage to Learn if they could support us with completing the coaching required by our agreement. And so this amendment would fill that. It would be about, for up to 300 teachers and up to 2,000 hours of coaching that is required through the end of this school year. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about.
Yes, I actually have a number of questions. In terms of when you say up to 2,000 hours, that's rather elusive. Is there a minimum amount of hours that will be, for the 300 teachers?
Yeah, so
the contractual agreement?
we have a coaching tracker for every school that lists every teacher and how many hours they have completed so far this year. So what we want to do is with every principal, basically sit down and determine which teachers are the in-house PPSD coaches able to complete the coaching hours for, and which teachers they feel they need support with for E2L coaching. So the 2,000 hours is if every single teacher was going to be coached by E2L who still needed the hours remaining. But because we haven't had those conversations with principals yet and to determine what their capacity is within their own buildings, I did put up to 2,000 hours just to cover ourselves if we need to all those hours. But it really will be school by school.
Will the coaching be done virtually or in person or a combination of both?
It's in person, all in person. So they come to us and with our current contract with our dual language educators, they work with the principals to make sure that they're coming during times that are available for the teachers so they can meet, not only observe their instruction, but also meet with them and discuss, what they observed.
Thank you.
And, okay, and who will be providing the coaching for is it for the students?
It's coaching for the teachers of MLLs, and the reason why we have used this vendor in the past is because they have from across the country a team of coaches who have a lot of experience working with multilingual learners, but are also certified. I mean, that's the key piece for our DOJ agreement. Our teachers have to receive coaching from a certified coach. And as you know, we have a lot of coaches in our district, but not all of them are fully certified in ESL, so we're working towards it. And so we can only count the hours of fully certified coaches towards this requirement.
Is there a rough estimate of how many we do have, or we don't have sort of like a rough estimate?
Of coaches?
Coach.
Yeah, every school, for the most part, has at least one coach who's
Oh,
fully
wait, so,
ESL
so,
certified.
so the coaches are the ones that's gonna sort of receive this training, is that correct?
Our math and literacy coaches across every school, there's usually one of each.
Mhm.
One of them is usually fully ESL certified, and
Got
they have been tasked to provide coaching for the teachers in their building.
Ah,
But for a number of reasons, sometimes our coaches are not able to fulfill all the coaching hours that they thought, they were going to do in a given week. Vacancies, they're covering different things, and so this is why at this point in the year we've identified that to get to our end goal, there's still about 2,000 hours left of coaching that we want to complete, and we're going to need some external help to be able to.
Particularly like an add to like the bigger schools, like like Central, right? I was a literacy coach last year. The literacy coach has to do a lot of heavy lifting, like access testing. You have a large MLL population, that's 4 tests per kid. So like the bigger the school, there's more things that the coach gets pulled away for administratively to aside from coaching.
And also more teachers. So some of our bigger schools
teachers.
have just, maybe over 50 teachers that have to be coached, and it's 15 hours per teacher. So it can be difficult to complete all of that within a school year. And as we hire new teachers too, like we're always hiring new staff, any new teacher also has to receive those 15 hours of coaching.
So if this was to be approved today and at the school board meeting in 2 weeks, how soon will this be rolled out? And then when will the coaches provide the trainings for the teachers and the other teachers?
So we are hoping to start the Monday following school board approval. So without this being approved yet, we are trying to be mindful to communicate with principals. This hasn't been approved yet, but if it were to be approved, start thinking about what teachers we might want to have E2L coach. And so ideally, we begin right away.
Got it. And will it be during the school day, on a weekend?
It's during the school day because we want them to be going in and observing classroom instruction and then being able to meet with the teachers during their planning time, just to be able to give feedback and also sometimes model for the teachers some practices, and also just be reflective, what are the things that we can do differently or lesson plan with them for an upcoming lesson. It's very hands-on.
Now for this, it says E2L, project management. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so the partner, part of the cost is that we work with them on a weekly basis. I have a meeting with them, and they have a whole portal, which is part of also like this online portal where we can track how many hours of coaching have been done, all the coaching logs, all the notes, they can take pictures and evidence. And so there's a project manager team that's really organizing to make sure that all these people from across the country are coming in during the times that our administrators have said are the best time for our teachers, and that all of this is getting done within a very short window of time to complete before.
And when does it have to be completed by? The end of the school year?
This end of this school year. Correct.
Okay. And this travels there, the 240, the traveling reimbursements?
Mhm.
Okay, for who travel. Do we have an estimate of how many people are going to come within this company and support our teachers?
It just depends on, again, how many teachers are actually selected for this. Usually we have 1 or 2 coaches, like right now in our current contract for our bilingual and dual language teachers, there's 1 or 2 coaches assigned to each school. And they're the same ones who come week after week, month after month, so that the staff, they're almost like part of their community. Yeah.
Got it. You have any more questions?
I actually do. In the justification of spending, second paragraph, with regards to the TAP goal of increasing the percentage of the multilingual learners, how is that quantified? That increasing
yeah.
the percentage?
Of meeting their targets on access?
Yes.
Yes, so access is a state assessment that every multilingual learner takes. It's actually, the window is closed. It's usually between January, February. And so every year, what RIDE does is every MLL, based on where they start in English language proficiency, there's a scale between 1 and 6. We have there's a formula that takes into account how long they've been in the US, how much time they've been in an MLO program, determine how much growth they should be making within a year. So like a student who's brand new to the US might make a lot of growth that first year, whereas a student who's been here for a while and they're already high on the 1 to 6 continuum, their growth might be a little bit less than a student who's brand new who'd be learning a lot that first year. And so every student has an individual learning target that we have for them on Access. And so RIDE really determines how much growth has a student made, have they met their 1-year growth target. And so in order to help our students meet that growth target, our teachers really need to use a lot of strategies to help support our students in being able to access the core content that is delivered to them, so that it doesn't go over their heads or it doesn't,
Thank you. Thank you for annotating that.
Just for context, like the paradigm shift to get all the teachers certified in MLL is so, a kid needs to be able to access the grade level content while they're learning the language. So the trainings to support, providing the scaffolds and the strategies to help the kid both hit grade level content and language so they don't fall behind their peers that speak English.
Thank you.
And yeah, this coaching, thank you for sharing that. This coaching is specifically for teachers who are not ESL certified, but are working with our multilingual learners.
The last question I have is this program part of the in-house ESLL certification program?
This right now is not. So this is a contract that is specifically to help support teachers in learning strategies to support their multilingual learners, but the coaching does not lead to any certification for the teachers. It's just, really ongoing training. It's 15 hours of coaching that every teacher we want to make sure gets on just strategies to support their multilingual learners in their classroom.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any other thoughts from anyone? All right, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, engaged learning. I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. All right, we have the next contract, Brown University.
Yeah.
Can you present on that?
I will. So another piece of our DOJ agreement, and we're getting very close to ending our agreement, but one of the last deliverables that we have to submit to the Department of Justice is a longitudinal study. And so we've been communicating with Brown University, and they gave us a proposal of up to $215,000 to complete this study. It is a study that will, in essence, help us evaluate our own effectiveness of the MLO programs that we have in the district, and it will track different cohorts of students across several years to see, if the MLO programs that they're in are really supporting them with meaningfully having access to, core grade level content and growth. This is a study that Brown has already done for us once. In the initial DOJ agreement, we had to do a 3-year longitudinal study, and they did a really great job with that study. And so we're hoping to just replicate that study with the next 3 years of data.
Yes, actually, in the justification of vendor selection, it states that the policy lab completed the 3-year longitude study in the second sentence in that box. But in the justification of spending, it states otherwise, and it refers to the extension agreement required by the Department of Justice. Can you please annotate that section?
Yeah, so we've actually had 2 agreements. So our initial agreement with the Department of Justice started in 2018, and that was a 3-year agreement. At the end of that 3-year agreement, we had to submit a 3-year longitudinal study, which Brown did complete. At that point, I believe it was 2021, we had not yet met full compliance with all of the items the DOJ wanted us to address, and so we signed a 2-year extension to our agreement. And this 2-year extension, which is where we're at now, also requires a longitudinal study. And so this is why we're hoping that they can complete the second study as they did the first.
When does that extension expire?
We're very hopeful that it is at the end of this academic school year, yes. And so this would be the last deliverable we would be
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't have no questions about this, but I do just want to see it. I'll check in with the chair. There was and I think some of you know, it's called the Black and Brown Male Initiative. It was funded on it from Brown University. As being on the finance committee, I want to know and request, either you or Mal, if we can request sort of where that funding is and get a report on that. If the funding was in fact repurposed, wherever it was repurposed, that if you guys could sort of provide that documentation and let me know for our next meeting, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'll follow it up in an email just to put it on documentation, all right? But that's the only thing, my questions as it pertains to Brown, because I know they put funding in, and I spoke to some people, they wanted to know about it. I wasn't too clear or sure what the funding is, so, or if anything ever happens, so I appreciate that, we can get that for the next finance committee meeting.
When we get back from finding Easter eggs, we'll work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when's vacation start? Next week? After next week, right?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Friday tomorrow.
No school tomorrow, right? Oh, and then, okay. Oh, they gotta get out of here. Okay, do we have a motion to?
We got one more.
One
Yeah.
more.
One more.
No, a motion to approve.
Oh, okay, I think it's adjourned.
No, do we have a motion to approve the Brown University contract? I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Okay, we're gonna go into our final contract on this evening, which is the West End contract.
So this is also an amendment to an existing contract. West Ed, we've been partnering with them for 2 years. They have been serving as a consultant for us. In our initial contract with them, they've developed a series of professional development sessions that our teachers could participate in. But another part of the contract with them is for them to help be our consultants in developing our in-house ESL certification program. They have a lot of experience developing these types of programs in other areas of the country. And so when we initially had our contract 2 years ago with them, we created a scope of work that would require them to consult us in creating a framework for this in-house program. Now that we're getting closer to the actual approval and launch of the program, there's a lot more that we need from them in deliverables that we'd like for them to support us with, the curriculum, the scope and sequence of the units that teachers will be going through, application requirements, assessments, and the hiring of our potential instructors for the program. And so that additional scope of work is what we would like to make an amendment on for the contract of up to $150,000. And that would take us through the end of this school year. So it's in just additional work that we want them to participate in.
Any questions?
Yes, what was the amount of the original RFP?
Yeah, it was
It's $412,000 was the original contract and now it's spent over 2 years.
Very good. And in regards to the percentage certification increase of 17.5% to 52%, that's an increase of over 30%. Is that within that 2-year framework, or is that still developing?
So this is one of our turnaround action plan goals. I believe this goal was set back in 2018. At that time, about 17% of our teaching workforce held an ESL certificate, and our goal is to get to 52%. I believe we're in the around 35% right now, but we believe that having an in-house program will definitely support this initiative. A lot of our, all of our teachers are going to external partners right now, and we're helping them through a reimbursement process. So they, if they go to RIC or URI, we're reimbursing them for going out and getting the certification themselves. We're hoping that this will be a program that is approved so that more of our teachers can take part, and we really would reduce the out-of-pocket expense for our teachers and hopefully incentivize more people to come and join PPSD, because this would be a program that would be offered to our teachers.
Thank you for indicating that. I have no further questions.
Yes, well, motion to approve West End.
So moved.
All right, I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Aye.
Aye.
As well. The ayes have it. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank
All
you.
right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great vacation.
Stop.
Yep.
Thank you
You're
again.
welcome.
Vacation for your evening.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, nice to see you. Nice to see you, okay?
I did get your email and I got your
Got
response.
it, got
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
No, I appreciate you. You do your
Bye-bye.
research. That's good.
Bye-bye.
Take care, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Have fun tonight.
Oh, yeah.